بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord, creator and sustainer of all things. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف أنبياء الله سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. All right, so we are beginning a new section of the book, Insha'Allah ta'ala, at this time, lesson number 32 on page number 40 of our workbooks. We have something very special there. And before we begin, Insha'Allah ta'ala, we'll take a brief glance at your homework. On the table that I've given you, I've asked you for Jam'u Taksir. Jam'u Taksir. Marfu', Mansub, Makhfud, and Majzoom. So Jibril, you first. Give me your example of Jam'u Taksir Marfu'. قام الرجال. قام الرجال. أعرب رجال. الرجال.
جمع تكسير مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة
الظاهرة على آخره. Nice, very well done. طيب. Sultan, I've asked you for اسم مثنى مرفوع. مثل لي اسم مثنى مرفوع from your table. You didn't do it? Hanif. اسم مثنى مرفوع from what you've written there. هذان قلمان. طيب, so we're going to take the word قلمان and do i'rab of it. What is it? قلمان.
اسم مثنى مرفوع.
اسم مثنى مرفوع علامة رفعه. نعم. الألف. نيابة عن الضمة. Nice. بارك الله فيكم. يا أبا مريم, you did the homework? طيب, go to الأسماء الخمسة and give me the مجزوم. لا يوجد. طيب, then مخفوض then. زرت بيت أخيك. أحسنت. أعرب أخيك. say مخفوض. اسم من الأسماء الخمسة. مخفوض. الياء. عن الكسر. نيابة عن الكسرة. أحسنت. Okay. جيد. Any difficulties in filling this out? Let me ask you, يا جبريل, فعل مضارع صحيح الآخر منسوب. لن يدرس. لن يدرس. لن يدرس زيد. لن يدرس زيد. So يدرس is فعل مضارع منسوب
وعلامة نصبه
الفتحة. نيابة. No نيابة. It is the علامة أصلية. طيب. بارك الله فيكم. Look at lesson 32 then. الدرس الثاني والثلاثون. باب الأفعال. Now we enter a new bab. Like we left out the door, going into a new door. باب الأفعال. نعم. أفعال. The plural of فعل. Yeah. What is a fi'l? If you recall back from the beginning of the book, what's the first thing that's in our text? Who knows al-ajrumiyya, first two lines? You know what, Jibril? الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع وأقسامه ثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لي معنى. بارك الله فيك. We need that. Because now let's go back. كلام is اسم وفعل وحرف. يعني أنواع الكلمات, there are three only. اسم وفعل وحرف. Right now we need to zoom in on one of those three. Which one are we zooming in on? The fi'l. طيب. So what's the definition of a fi'l? Who remembers what is the technical definition of a fi'l? That's the signs. That's Ibn Ajurum's signs of a fi'l and signs of an ism and signs of a... The signs of a fi'l is qad, wasin, wasofa and that stuff. Tayyib. But what is a fi'l? Not what are its signs. What is it? ما ليس باسم ولا حرف. ما ليس بغيره. There we go. كلمة دالة على حصول شيء في إحدى الأزمنة الثلاثة. في أحد الأزمنة الثلاثة. أيوة, don't say في إحدى الأزمنة الثلاثة, but say في أحد الأزمنة الثلاثة. بارك الله فيكم. A word that indicates an action taking place, a happening, in one of three time periods. And one of three time periods, you can say it is في الماضي والمضارع والمستقبل. Or you can say الحال والاستقبال. الحال والاستقبال means the present and the future. استقبال المستقبل.
What's that definition?
كلمة دالة على حصول شيء في أحد الأزمنة الثلاثة. Some of the scholars, they say كلمة دالة على معنى في نفسها. Here, حصول شيء, something happened, or something will happen, or something is happening. We're going to branch off of that because we're going to give a separate definition for all three types of fi'ls. So you'll get used to it. You'll feel it. Yeah. So a fi'l is what? كلمة دالة على حصول شيء في أحد الأزمنة الثلاثة. طيب. الفعل الماضي. Yeah, الفعل الماضي. What is a فعل ماضي? Let's start out. Is it a kalima or an ishara? It's a kalima. All right. دالة على حصول شيء في الماضي. You could make it, keep it easy like that. Yeah. Or you can say like what they say, to avoid using the name in the definition, they say على حصول شيء قبل زمن التكلم, before the time period of the actual statement, before when it's spoken. Because that's what ماضي is, right? It's الزمن الذي يكون قبل زمن التكلم, the time that has before that word was spoken. The difference is, if someone wrote a letter yesterday and he used the fi'l ماضي, and he wrote that letter yesterday at noon, that means that action had to happen before yesterday at noon, even if you don't get the letter until today. So when is the fi'l ماضي referring to? قبل زمن التكلم, before the time of its usage, not the time of its being heard or reaching someone or its ikhbar or when it's been repeated, but before the time that it was originally issued. Yeah, so the original usage of the verb, when it's used, then that thing has happened before the time of that speech. So that's the basic definition. That's our beginner's definition. There are more advanced issues with fi'l ماضي, but that's our basic definition. الفعل المضارع then. فعل ماضي one more time. كلمة دالة على حصول شيء. Same as, that's what a verb is, right? So far we just said verb. We said essentially fi'l. Yeah, كلمة دالة على حصول شيء قبل زمن التكلم. And one thing that's important to go with that definition, put it in parentheses. وهو مبني دائما. It's always mabni. And that requires us to review a very important issue. الكلمات إما مبنية وإما معربة. Words have to be either mabni or mu'rab. What's mabni and mu'rab mean? Mabni is, it doesn't change with the grammar. We don't say it's marfu' or mansub or makhfud or majzoom because it's mabni. We don't say that it's marfu'. We don't put it in those cases. Those cases, marfu', mansub, makhfud, and majzoom, that's for when a word is mu'rab. Mu'rab means which of those four cases is your i'rab. Mu'rab is that which has i'rab. Yeah? So fi'l madi is not mu'rab. So you don't say fi'l madi majzoom. You don't say fi'l madi marfu'. You don't say fi'l madi mansub. You don't say that. Because fi'l madi is مبني. مبني. Remember the huruf are مبنية. Yeah? What about the word min? Is it marfu'? Is it mansub? It's mabni. It's mabni. What about the word fi and ila and an? Mabniya. Kullaha. They're all mabni. So they don't change. No matter where they are in a sentence, in the beginning, the middle, the end, before a meaning, along with the heaviest part of the meaning, near the object, near a, in part of a prepositional phrase, no matter where those words are, they're always the same. Mabni. Tayyib. That's fi'l madi. It's always mabni. Now we go to fi'l mudari' and the definition of it. Basically, you can tell me what the definition is, just sort of shifting the definition for the fi'l madi a little bit. What would you say? You would say it's also a kalima, right? You would also say it's dalla. Dalla means tadullu ala shay. It indicates something. What does it indicate? Aywa. Dalla ala husuli shay'in. Something happened. Would you say qabala zaman al-takallumi? No. You would say fi. Fi zaman al-takallumi. في الحاضر. في الحال والاستقبال. You can say that. في الحال والاستقبال. So if you said في زمن التكلم, then add أو بعده. أو بعده, or after it. Because the mudari' verb can also refer to the future. And if you want to get technical, you can say أو قبله, because you put a lam in front of it. Lam yajlis, it means it's a negation for the past. Yeah? Basic definition though is كلمة دالة على حصول شيء في زمن التكلم. Or you can say في الحاضر or في الحال. في الحال والاستقبال. نعم. في زمن التكلم أو بعده. نعم. أو بعده, or after it. And this one, where you said the fi'l madi was mabni, we're going to say about this one, it is mu'rab. This is our focus in al-ajrumiyya. So what we're doing here with this lesson is sorting out our verbs into 3 categories and then dismissing 2 of them and focusing in on 1 category. That is the mudari' verb. That's our focus in i'rab. Yeah, we're always focused on the mudari' verb, not the madi. طيب. So then we need a definition for al-amr. نعم. كلمة يطلب بها. يطلب بها. كلمة يطلب بها حصول شيء. كلمة يطلب بها حصول شيء. يطلب بها حصول شيء. And you can't request an action in the past. You know, when people want to be expressive, they say, I need it done by yesterday. They're just stressing how much it needs to get done ASAP. I need it done 5 minutes ago. That's not possible to give someone an order that they have to complete in the past. So then, of course, when we talk about zaman, the reality is في المستقبل. So you can say بعد زمن التكلم. After, the husul will happen after the speech. كلمة يطلب بها. يطلب بها حصول شيء. كلمة يطلب بها حصول شيء بعد زمن التكلم. Notice حصول شيء is always there for the verb. بعد زمن التكلم. Make sense? كلمة يطلب بها حصول شيء بعد زمن التكلم. That's فعل أمر. So now, فعل ماضي was مبني. فعل مضارع was معرب. فعل أمر is what? مبني. Now if you said معرب here, look ahead to lesson 33. Look what Ibn al-Jurrum says. فالماضي مفتوح الآخر أبدا والأمر مجزوم. Look what he calls that أمر. مجزوم أبدا. مجزوم أبدا. Now, and this is an opinion. However, الراجح, what's most correct is the فعل أمر is مبني. and it's mabni ala ma yujzamu bihi mudari'uhu. We'll get into that later. That requires us to know about how we interact with the fi'l mudari', so I can't give you that definition just yet. But we'll say it's mabni and we'll stop there. Fi'l amr is just mabni, despite what our author says in the next point. We're going to let him say what he says and then just move on because he doesn't develop that idea or build anything on it. That the fi'l amr is majzumun abadan. He dismisses fi'l amr at that point. An angle for him would be to say that the fi'l amr could be like with lamul amr for the fi'l mudari'. Yani وَلْيَفْعَلْ وَلْيَجْلِسْ وَلْيَسْكُتْ فَلْيَسْكُتْ. Fi'l amr for the ghaib. Right? That's called lamul amr lil ghaib. من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليسكت. Yeah, this is an amr, right? But it's an amr lil ghaib. Let him do this or let him do that. Let him speak good or let him be quiet. That means the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded us to speak good or to keep silent. There's an amr there. So this is the angle for him in tomorrow's lesson, to be correct and say that the fi'l amr is majzoom. Yeah, but it's mudari'. Yeah, it's mudari' and it's going to be majzoom. Otherwise, the fi'l amr that we're going to discuss today, ijlis, kul, uskut, this fi'l amr, we're going to call this one mabni. And we're going to start as a base rule and say mabni ala sukun. But it could be mabni ala shay'in akhar, like mabni ala hadfi harf al-illa, like in the word, like what? Iqdi bil-haq. Iqdi bil-haq. Iqdi bil-haq. You judge by the truth. Iqdi. Not iqdi. Qada yaqdi. Iqdi. Iqdi. Take off the ya. Hadfu harf al-illa. That's how the mudari' becomes majzoom. That's what the bina is for fi'lu amr. Tayyib. We'll get into that later because that's above where we are right now. Right now we just want to know that fi'lu amr is kalimatun yutrabu biha husulu shay'in ba'da zaman at-takallumi. And it is mabniya. It is mabniya. So then from the three things is, we are going to focus on the fi'l mudari'. Everything we're going to talk about now for the next few lessons is fi'l mudari'. And we're going to dismiss fi'l madi and fi'l amr. Right? But just before we dismiss them, we're going to do some conjugation in the little bit of time that we have today. Meaning we're going to make sure that we know how to make conjugation of past tense verbs, a little bit of review, and fi'l amr. So what I'm going to do is essentially tell you there's something called sarf kabir and sarf saghir. Sarf kabir, take a verb like daraba yadribu. Daraba yadribu. Let's do sarf kabir. We need to bring 12 words to change who's speaking, right, or who's being spoken to for this verb daraba. So start with me and we, I and we. Darabtu. Let's put it in the past. Fi'l madi. Darabtu. What about nahnu? Darabna. Now go to al-mukhatab. Anta darabta. Talk to the woman. Anti darabti. Talk to two men. Antuma darabtuma. Talk to two females. Same thing. Antuma darabtuma. Right? Talk to a group of men, 3 or more. Darabtum. Talk to 3 or more women. Darabtunna. Tayyib. Now switch to the third person, al-ghaib. How many do we have so far? 2 for the mutakallam. Ana wa nahnu. Darabtu wa darabna. Then we had 6 for the mukhatabun. Now we need 6. I said 12. I was mistaken. I mean 14. Yeah. Now we need 6 more for the ghaibin. So let's talk about huwa. Daraba. Let's talk about hiya. Darabat. The 2 of them. Huma. 2 men. Daraba. And then the 2 women. Darabatat. Throw the ta in there for ta'neeth. And then they. Hum. Darabu. And then hunna. What did they do? The women? Darabna. 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 Not to be confused with darabna with an alif, but darabna. Just put a kasr on that noon. Darabna. Tayyib. That's called sarf kabir. 14 phrases that take you through every possibility of how you use that. And that's in the maldi. Now let's do the mudari. 14 more words. Yeah, that was maldi. Let's do the mudari for the same verb. Daraba. We say, ana adribu. Tomorrow we'll learn that fi'l mudari, the sign of the fi'l mudari is that it starts with one of 4 letters. From your statement, anaitu. Alif, nun, ya, ta. It has to start with one of those 4 letters. So, ana adribu. Nahnu nadribu. Anta tadribu. Anti tadribina. Put the noon on there. Tadribina. Antuma. 2 men. Aywa. Tadribani. Yeah. Antuma, 2 women. Tadribani, same. Yeah. Antum tadribuna. Yeah. Antunna tadribna. Tadribna. Fatha on the noon, not an alif. Then we go to huwa hiya. Now we do the ghaib, the 6 for the ghaib. Huwa yadribu. Hiya tadribu. Huma, 2 men. Again, 2 men, 2 men. Yadribani. 2 ladies. Tadribani. 3 or more men. Yadribuna. Yadribuna. 3 or more women. Yadribna with a ya, not with a ta. Yadribna. Naam. Yadribna for the ladies. Tayyib. This is called sarf kabir. Now we got the mudari'. Now let's do fi'lu amr. Same thing. Idrib. Anta. Idrib. Idrib. Anti. Idribi. Yeah. Antuma, 2 men. Idriba. And antuma, 2 women. Idriba. Same thing. And then to 3 or more men. Idribu. To 3 or more women. Idribna. Tayyib. Then what about ghaibin? Can you order the ghaibin? With lam al-amr. Same thing like with the mutakallim. So you can say what? Huwa falyadrib. Falyadrib. Or walyadrib. Or with a lam. Liyadrib. Like that. Let's put fal on there just to be easy, because that comes a lot in the text. Falyaqul khayran. Aw liyaskut. Fal, well, like that. So, falyadrib huwa. What about hiya? Faltadrib. Yeah? What about huma, 2 men? Falyadriba. What about 2 women? Faltadriba. Faltadriba. What about a group of men? Falyadribu. Let them beat. Let them hit. Falyadribu. And then a group of women? Falyadribna. Tayyib. Jazakumullahu khairan. And that's just a quick review of sarf. That's the science of sarf. That's not nahu. So we don't really want to go down that street and stay there and do lots of practice in Ajurumiyya. That's going to take us away from the metin if we do that. But that's a needed skill, isn't it? Yeah? That's called sarf kabir. Anyone know what sarf saghir is? It's only 3 words. If I said isrif daraba, that means give me the sarf of daraba. You would give me 3 words. What do you think the 3 words would be? Out of everything we just discussed, 14 plus 14 plus 14, out of 42 possible ways, what would you say the 3 most important are? Daraba. Past tense for huwa. So you would say daraba, and then you would use mudari' for huwa. Yadribu, and then none of what has preceded, something else, called the masdar. The ism that comes from that verb, the verbal noun, darban. So sarf saghir is daraba yadribu darban. Yeah, daraba yadribu darban. And you make the masdar mansub. That's how the scholars of Nahu do the sarf saghir. So sarf kabir is all 14 of those. Sarf saghir is the 3. So generally when someone says isrif al-fi'l, isrif ja'a, you say ja'a yaji'u maji'atan. Like that. You just bring the maldi, mudari, masdar. That's called sarf saghir. We'll be doing a lot of that, inshaAllah ta'ala, once you get the sarf kabir, it's just for practice. It's not really used a lot. What's used is isrif al-fi'l, you say fa'ala yaf'alu fi'lan, like that. And you bring the madi, mudari, and masdar. وبهذا نكتفي مصلين ومسلمين على النبي المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه الأطهار الأبرار الأتقياء والله أعلم.